Welcome to Foundling Fridays. Welcome to Foundling Fridays, presented by Cut the Sith. Every Friday, we bring up the latest episode of The Mandalorian. Today, we'll be discussing Season 2, Episode 7, Chapter 5, The Believer, the penultimate episode of Season 2. Oh, yeah. Don't watch anymore if you haven't seen the episode, because we're going full spoiler talk, full steam ahead. If I sound like I'm still, I'm not drunk. I'm a very sober human being. I just haven't slept in fucking like 3 days. Well, realistically, 20 hours.
So it's 3 days in Colin Land.
It really is. I have a ghost in my bedroom for anyone that's wondering. And he's keeping me up at night. He's fucking with me. Anyways, Paige, how are you?
Very good, sir. How's everybody else?
Ryan, how are you?
I was going to wait for Alex to go because he's right there.
We don't have to go to the two of them back to back all the time just because they sit.
They're separate entities.
They're not they're not the same person.
They need to put a divider between them.
Like more together.
I am doing well. Colin, may I suggest you challenge the ghost to a duel?
I would fucking kick his ass in a duel. I was the greatest Yu-Gi-Oh player from 2006. Is that when Yu-Gi-Oh came out?
Yeah, around that time.
To 2015, I was the greatest Yu-Gi-Oh player in Charlestown, Massachusetts. Alex, how you doing?
Ladies and gentlemen. But don't limit yourself. You're better than just a regional champ.
I mean,
Yeah, you have the heart of a national champ.
Total population count in Charlestown?
I'm pretty sure Dan could beat me. But he's in Seattle now, so he's no longer in Massachusetts. So yeah, one less person to worry about.
State champ around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, my guy.
Yep.
Billy Ballbag was back.
Yes, he
That
was.
red-headed bald fuck. And man, did they make me care about his character finally.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I cared before, but now I care more.
See, I cared because I like Bill Burr, but I did not like Mayfeld at all. And I did not like any of those people in the Prisoner episode. And I'm glad they only brought him back and not the fucking rest of the Stooges.
Agreed.
And
No.
this dude dealt with some fucking trauma. Like,
Yeah, he did.
Jesus Christ.
I think it was part of Operation Cinder. Like the moment he brought that up, I was like,
I want to learn more about that.
ouch. Like, and real quick, just in that scene, because I love the actor, the guy who played the, I wrote down
Richard
his name.
Brake.
Whatever his commanding post, and then Fallon's. I love Richard Brake. He's a great actor, and he always makes you fucking hate him.
Oh, hated him. Hated him even more the second time we watched it.
So just diving into the meat and potatoes of the episode. When that was an Imperial cruiser that was transferring the Rhydonium. Those pirates, the reason I put the pirates in quotation marks, pirates steal shit. They were just blowing those things up.
Yeah.
To me, it seemed like they were just natives who were trying to get the Empire out of like their city or off their planet. So Din was straight up just no regard shooting people that were probably just like innocent people trying to protect their homeland from the Empire. And he was fucking killing them with no regards.
Well, they were trying to blow him up, dude. Come on.
I know, but they were trying to blow him because they thought he was part of the fucking Empire.
Well, they did refer to them as pirates, so maybe he,
Well, he referred to them.
he didn't want to die.
So, but I do like, because as we've seen his relationship with Grogu grow, he becomes like a nicer, kinder person. Like he went back for Grogu, didn't want to turn him in for the bounty. But at the end of the day, he's a Mandalorian. He's a bounty hunter. He has killed innocent people for money before. So I wouldn't put it past him that he did not give a shit. It's like they like Paige said, they're trying to kill him, and he needs to go get this information to go save Grogu. So it doesn't fucking matter to him that these are probably just innocent, like farmers trying to protect their land from the Empire. It's like, nah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Kill them all because they're standing between me and my baby.
I wrote a note that said, pirate fucks are so ugly.
I do like too, because I've been saying it all season. Because I like how he's been basically going on like side quests, like it's a friggin' RPG, and he keeps picking up new gear to like power himself up to have for the final battle. Like he got his new armor last season, he got his
Mhm.
jetpack at the end of the season, he got his goddamn staff to battle a Darksaber.
Yeah.
I'm glad they took him out of the armor this episode because the armor has felt too OP. Like last week's episode, the Boba Fett one, he's taken multiple shots to the chest. It's like nothing's happened. It's like, all right, well, is there anything where I'm gonna be like, oh man, he's in danger because everything lightsaber blasters, everything is flying off his armor like nothing. So I'm glad they took him out of the armor and he's like fighting these pirates and you can see him in like pain as they like
Mhm.
just knock what was like the little shoulder pad off, and you can see his arm hurt, and I was like, all right, I like it.
Yeah.
Fine.
I said that too. And then I also said that I liked that fight scene for two reasons. Because one, it shows you that he is a good warrior without his gear and his gadgets and whatever. And then another thing that I didn't think of until now was it kind of is like maybe a preview of what we're going to see fight scene wise with the spear, maybe.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
he had, you know.
Yeah, because he had that. He took like one of their spears and was like fighting them with it.
Yeah.
Alex, I can't hear you.
Sorry. No, I was going to say, I agree with you 1,000% about that. It was kind of nice seeing him much more vulnerable. And even then, not only from the physical aspect, but I really generally liked the ride with him and Mayfeld. And
Mhm.
like, Mayfeld brought up a couple points that I really liked. And I liked that essentially Mayfeld takes like essentially a neutral position. It's like the Empire sucks, the New Republic sucks, and he also brought up when they're passing by the villagers and especially the kids. I forget the direct quote, but I think he essentially just says, like to them, it's all the same.
Yep.
Like they don't give a shit either way. And
He
then
said there was gonna be like a king ruling, and they're gonna be ruled by. It doesn't matter who's ruling them.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I did like that they're bringing up all those sides of war, and especially making it less. Well, no, excuse me, not making it less, making it more of the us versus them mentality.
Mhm.
Like I feel like they're really setting up, and especially with the next episode being the last one. I feel like
Till Christmas
yeah,
next year. The season 3 premieres until Christmas next year.
well, we'll be doing things in between then. Don't worry.
I don't know. I was very impressed by Mayfield.
There's not any filler shows either.
No.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Colin said it too. Like this episode made me care about Mayfield's entire character, and like kind of felt more like a Mayfield episode. Especially I liked when Din was at the computer originally, and he's like peering in and looking in. He's like, "Come on, man, hurry up!" Like shit.
Oh.
Like,
I want to mention something about that after you finish.
well, no, that's also I liked that. Like, I felt nervous most of the episode. Like everybody made me feel really nervous throughout the whole thing.
I'm gonna bring a conversation. Not really a conversation. A bunch of things Steve said to me during our Mando mornings.
6 a.m. Mando mornings.
Yeah, what did he say to me? Oh fuck, he posted in Discord. Hold on, I can open up the other app. Well, he doesn't like to go on Facebook till after he reads the episode, watch the episode, because someone spoiled one of the episodes like literally right at 6 a.m. when he logged on. So I send him everything in Discord now when we want to watch. All right.
I didn't spoil the episode, but I spoiled that Richard Brake was in the episode.
No, we looked at a spoil earlier when we saw Din without his mask on.
So
That
I
was
can't
a spoiler.
I can't find exactly what Steve said, but I'll just paraphrase what I remember of it. He's basically like, so he was questioning why it was just like any human face can look at that terminal and it works. Like he Din takes his helmet off and his fucking face works. He's not part of the Imperial, so why does his face work? Is it just to keep droids out of there? I think that's what he was trying to say, and I was like, I don't know.
Maybe droids and then other species, because you did say that no human, like nobody besides Thrawn is, like everybody else is human.
Yeah,
And
they're all super racist and xenophobic. That's why I was so crazy that Thrawn got such a high ranking as a Grand Admiral, because it shows how good he is. Because they're literally all just humans.
Another point about Mayfeld is I liked the opening scene with him in that robot in the junkyard.
Mm-hmm.
I like seeing all the like broken down ties, because you don't think about it because it's like, ooh, space, whatever. Like, where does all this junk go? Like, they have to have a junkyard. So I kind of liked that it brought it to a yeah.
So Ryan, what do you think?
Going back to the terminal thing, they did mention it was part of or attached to an ISB database where they knew who was working for the Republic and now the New Republic. So there's no reason why Mando's face would be in that database, because he's never taken his helmet off.
But to go off of that, so that it wouldn't but why would it still work for him though?
I think its only purpose is to flag spies.
Oh, because it just seems like the Empire is very inefficient. Because why wouldn't you make it so like they had to be like Imperials to actually act like you know how all those like fucking spy movies, when they go in, they had their eyeballs scanned, and why isn't there like an eyeball? Why is it just like, all right, any human face as long as they're not basically registered?
It's probably arrogance to the point where they're like, oh, no one's going to be stupid enough to come in here.
Yeah, they only care about catching and killing people.
Also,
like, they don't expect the Republic to send like spies in there and into like the belly of the beast to collect information.
His views are changing. He took that fucking helmet off. Like, the baby is the most important thing to him. Now, we hear it at the end of the episode with Moff Gideon, where he's like, you don't know how much.
I got the chills during that.
I'm not gonna try and butcher what he said, but
you've got something you want.
He takes the helmet off, and he's just like, yeah, fuck it. If me taking the helmet off is the only way I can get this kid back, then the helmet's coming off. Fuck what they said, and I want. We're not gonna see any follow from that this season, I would assume, because there's only one episode left. But I assume that's gonna come into play next season, like the armor, and it's gotta be some confrontation, like, because he's an honest man too. He's not gonna pretend like he didn't take that helmet off.
Or he could even take it off. Maybe I disagree with you a little, Colin, because kind of said something to Alex earlier about how, like, maybe Bo-Katan would come back during the next episode, and I'm like, well, that is like a Mandalorian, like, foundling kid. Like, of course, like, other Mandalorians would want to get involved, and like, if you took the helmet off, like, they take their helmets off. So maybe it's like, hey, I'm just gonna get with the rest of these Mandalorian guys and not wear my helmet anymore. It was like a quick thing.
Because I'm thinking eventually there's gonna be some confrontation between the two groups, Bo-Katan's group and the Armorer's group, because the fact is, whoever wields that Darksaber is going to be the leader of the Mandalorians. And when they get that shit from Moff Gideon, Bo-Katan wants it. And I gotta assume the Armorer wants it too, because she has to want to rule and bring back the old ways. And he seems to be questioning the old ways. Because Bill Burr says it to him at the start of the episode. He goes, well, is it you can't take your helmet off, or people can't see your face? Because those are two different things. And you've been saying you can't take your helmet off. But the second the kid was in trouble, you switched into the Stormtrooper outfit, and now it's that they just can't see your face. Like, what is it? Because he's right. Those are two different things. Yeah. So his views, his lifestyles, it's changing. He's meeting these other Mandalorians. Bo-Katan, Sasha Banks, the guy, Boba Fett.
And speaking of Boba Fett, he touched up his armor in this episode.
I had a question about here. Do you think he was carrying that like paint on him? So if he found
definitely.
Right,
definitely.
If he just had, he's like, at the end of the first episode, he sees Dim with the armor. He goes, he gets some paint. He's like, all right, we're gonna get it. Or
1,000%.
when Dim was going to get Cara Dune, do you think he went into town and bought some paint to like?
No, I'm gonna go with what you said. He definitely had this on his ship, waiting for the day he gets his armor back. Because he knows it was gonna be in terrible condition.
Do you think the rest of them were just like chilling on the ship in silence as he just like painted his armor? Because none of them seem like the talkative type.
Oh no, they're definitely not to each other. No, they
Like
wouldn't
Din and
talk to each
Fennec were
other.
just like sitting there in silence as Boba paints his armor.
Head just shifting a little every few minutes.
What were they gonna discuss? Hey, remember that time you left me with this guy who almost killed me?
Yeah.
Good times, good times. What's she complaining about? She got a robot stomach out of it.
Yeah. I was gonna say now her stomach's made of robots.
And is she gonna be in the Bad Batch?
Looked
Sorry,
like
what was
it.
that?
Is she gonna be in the Bad Batch?
Yeah, she was in the trailer. That looked just like her. So I'm assuming that's her.
Getting back to what you were saying, like, yeah, he's pushing up against the extremist views now. And Mayfeld kind of laid out all of the emotional turmoil that we were going to see during that ride, because he also brings up that, like, you know, people can believe whatever they want, but the moment desperation kind of kicks in, people are more willing than not ready to bend or break their rules. So I did like that whole aspect of it too.
Rest in peace, Mayfeld.
Yeah, poor guy. We're gonna miss him.
I know.
He was a hero, though.
Died in that explosion. We all saw it.
Sure did. What a brave man.
Yep.
He is. He is.
To go off what you were just saying, Al, with like questioning, you know, the whole like extremist ways of like always wearing the helmet. You know, he sees these other Mandalorians and the way they don't wear them. You know, maybe one of the questions could be like, do you think he's ever, not to bring it there, but like, do you think he's ever been with a woman? Like maybe it's like I've missed out on a lot of these other types of like
helmet stays on during sex
opportunities. Like I don't know. Like I missed out on a family maybe because I had my friggin' helmet on. I don't know.
There were children Mandalorian in their helmets.
Yeah.
In the opening shots when we did see back in season 1 when we were going into their enclave and everything.
Are you allowed to take the helmet off with your wife? Maybe?
I do want to know if seeing Boba Fett and like seeing his chain code made him go more towards it, because originally he was in his one little cult section where they all follow the no helmet on at all times rules. Then he meets Bo-Katan and she's like, those motherfuckers are just like crazy religious freaks. But then it's like, this is just a second group, so we don't know which one to believe. But then he runs into Boba Fett. Boba Fett has the proof that him and his dad are Mandalorians, and Boba Fett's also not wearing the helmet. So he's basically like, the majority of Mandalorians I run into outside of my own small group of people don't wear their helmets all the time.
Yeah.
So
Must have been some severe culture shock.
yeah.
It's like, hey, wait, there are other Mandalorians, and they don't have to keep their helmets on?
The fuck?
What's going on here? Have I been lied to this entire time?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I guess it's not
Question
lied to.
everything, I guess. His world might be shook.
His world is. I feel like his world is progressively getting more and more shook, and especially at the end of the episode when he sent out that message to Gideon. First off, got some serious Liam Neeson vibes from Taken.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he also, it was almost more or less word for word everything Moff Gideon had said to him when he had the three of them pinned down in the old bar. Yeah.
No, he was like, all right, guys, give me a minute. I've practiced this. I've practiced this in the mirror.
When we flashed to them on the ship, I was like, they hurt my friggin' baby. I'm gonna freak out.
I was hoping to see him just like hung up to the wall with like 8 million needles.
Colin, stop. No.
This is probably one of the first episodes or
He
only
hasn't been
episode
in?
we don't see him.
Besides, like, the
know.
very first episode, maybe? I
Oh
don't
no,
know.
we see him at the end.
No, because he's in the last scene.
No, yeah, you're right.
They probably couldn't get the puppets here to work this episode.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, guys, nah.
What if like we get 800-year-old Grogu coming out of the world between worlds?
And
Like
he
in the
brings his
Ahsoka show.
army of red chiss.
Only if Yaddle is second in command. Still holding out hope. that Yaddle's gonna show up somehow, some way.
Yes, his mother.
I was telling Alex because with those announcements yesterday, they specifically said that the Ahsoka show and the Rangers of the New Republic show take place during the same time as the Mandalorian, and we know Ahsoka's going after Thrawn. So my idea, or my theory, is it's going to be like what Netflix did, but not crappy because the Defenders sucked. I love Daredevil. I love Jessica Jones. I love Luke Cage. Iron Fist was around, but like I didn't really care for Defenders.
Iron Fist was good. Even Nana watched it.
Iron Fist had too many board meetings for a guy that's supposed to be a martial artist.
Okay, whatever.
So
You think it'll be
he could have beat up
I'm
the board of
thinking-
directors.
Thrawn's gonna be the big bad, but he's gonna be like the overarch. Like Ahsoka's series is gonna be looking for him. And then maybe she finds him at the end, and then like the characters from the Mandalorian, the Ahsoka show, and the Rangers of the New Republic show get together, and there's either like a special Disney Plus show or a special like Disney Plus movie.
That's a good idea, Colin.
Down Thrawn.
I'm actually kind of hoping the Rangers of the New Republic show has that guy that just asked if you had
The
anybody
Asian
on
guy?
Alderaan.
Oh, people have tweeted at him. I think he's gonna be in the show. He says he doesn't know yet, but even if he did know, he wouldn't be able to say.
Yeah.
But
He's
everyone
definitely
keeps
gotta be-
tweeting, hoping
He's
in
got to
it.
be in it. And then everybody he comes in contact with is like, did you know someone on Alderaan?
When Bill Burr mentions, like, yeah, Alderaan, you could be born on Alderaan, you could be born on Mandalore, and then at the end it was like, yeah, and neither one of them exist anymore. He should have turned it in and was like, did you lose anyone on Mandalore?
That would have been a perfect time.
Yeah.
He should have.
Shots.
Actually, they should have had him drive up on a speeder right next to him and go, "Did you lose anyone on Mandalore?" And then just drive away.
Yeah.
Assume that also I have a feeling that they're gonna do well, it's already been kind of confirmed that based what they're doing with the Ahsoka show. But this has turned into like the Arrowverse when all these characters would show up in like a couple episodes of Arrow in like the first 2 seasons, and then they'd spin off and get their own TV show. Like Barry Allen showed up and got the Flash show, and then all the favorite side characters from Arrow and Flash got taken off and put on Legends of Tomorrow. Ahsoka's getting her own TV show. I'm assuming Rangers of the New Republic's going to be the Cara Dune show, because there was rumors that there was going to be a Cara Dune show.
I'd like to think the Ahsoka show isn't necessarily a spinoff, but it was planned a long time ago.
I think
She's
it's
finally getting her due.
I think the Ahsoka show is going to be in place of the animated Rebel sequel. I don't think the Rebel sequel is going to be animated anymore. I think the Rebel sequel is going to be the Ahsoka show, because the Rebel sequel was going to be her and Sabine looking
Makes
for
sense.
Ezra
Yeah.
and Thrawn, and now the Ahsoka show is going to be her looking for Thrawn. So I assume Sabine's going to be in there, and she's looking for Thrawn because she wants Ezra.
Yeah.
But it also makes me feel bad
What?
because the Ahsoka show takes place 10 years after Ezra went missing.
Wow.
These motherfuckers haven't found him yet. I also do want
Lost
how
in
they
the
wrote
void.
the World Between Worlds in that show.
Well, yeah. Look at the circular
Which
cover.
Alex
around
called
the
it
name.
first, by the way. Everyone's been pointing out that it's the World Between Worlds on that logo, and Alex called it first.
No, the moment they put it up last night, it's all the iconography behind it. It looks just like it every time from Rebels or anything else we've seen. But I'm hoping we get in the next episode. Truthfully, I'm hoping. I know it probably won't happen, but maybe like a little extra little Thrawn hint, just like a
Something.
little bit of salt. Just a little something. Nothing
I
big.
kind of want to just see him at the end, but I doubt it because it would have leaked out if they cast
Might
him.
see
as
like
Lamb.
a back. Or like you might see maybe like a hand. Maybe, I don't
That's
know.
what we hear the voice like the voice from Rebels.
Oh, see now that I've been crushing a lot of Rebels, and
I need to rewatch Rebels.
and his voice is very particular, and I keep trying to think of who he like reminds me of, and I can't, and it's driving me insane. But back to the episode, I did also want to say that I want to point out just how uncomfortable Din is without like the helmet on, like in that like room, like he's never been around people. Like his only experience was what with that robot that died last season.
Yeah.
Like Alex made me write down that he's not good at espionage. Like he's like Mayfield has to step in and like kind of take over the whole conversation. Like he's sitting there at the
It's
table.
also
like,
weird too
clearly, like
because
perplexed.
Mayfield goes in and says that Din's his superior officer.
Mm.
But the way they're acting, it's like it seems more like Mayfield's the superior officer because he keeps answering for him.
Yeah.
Even then, it's
I was like, shit, they're gonna die. Everybody's dying. And then when he blasted him, I was like,
that
That
Like-
motherfucker was like, well, they died for the glory of the Empire. And he's like, yeah, but I don't think
and
they.
Dan looks at him and he's like, don't
That
do
good
it.
about
And
it?
I'm like, he's losing it. This is not going well.
He was having like PTSD flashbacks in the moment. You could like see him like trying not to lose it, and Din's
Yep.
sitting there looking like uncomfortable.
Yep.
yeah.
It's just like I don't know what to
The
do. in this
reaction, though,
situation.
the look that Din gave him after he shot him was great. It was like, what did you just do?
Yep.
All right, fuck it. Let's just start shooting.
Yep. But it just made me respect Mayfeld even more.
Oh yeah. Too bad he died.
I mean, the most efficient stormtrooper in this episode was Din himself.
Yes, sir.
Stormtrooper armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no one was shocked that they like nailed all those shots.
Well, I guess they were being charged at by like sticks on that bridge.
Mhm.
I would be very remiss if they didn't actually slaughter those people running at them.
Mm.
Without any remorse or prejudice.
I also liked Mayfeld's comment after he blows up all that, whatever that explosives was that,
Rydonian?
you know, got to sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because they said the amount that they brought back will do like 10 times more than whatever it is that he was like,
Operation Cinder.
yeah. So like I knew it. Like he's gonna fucking do something to blow up this base.
It was a cool callback too, because he was an Imperial like sniper, a sharpshooter, wasn't he?
Yep.
And he didn't like snipe anything the whole episode, and then he nailed that shot.
Rifle.
That was great.
And even though who was it, Cara Dune was like nice.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like,
Speaking
damn.
of her, and I'm sorry to talk so much, I did make a comment to Alex that I really liked her, Cara, and Fennec's like ease when they were like just sniping off things. Like they were just boom, like just knew how to do everything. Yeah. No really talking, just killing.
That's my favorite type of killing. Brian, anything else you want to say?
Yeah. Did you lose anyone on Alderaan?
You know what? Surprisingly, my entire city, we were on vacation on Coruscant at the time. So, and I've never
The
left my
whole
home.
city, huh?
Yeah, and but before we left and went to Coruscant on this field trip, none of us had ever left the city before, so we didn't know anyone that lived outside the city. So we all survived.
Wow. What a coincidence.
Coincidence.
Do you think Nash Windrider ever lost anyone in Alderaan?
Potentially. We don't know for certain, clearly.
What's his name? Carter or Carson? I think it's Carson, the Asian guy.
I think so,
Republic
yeah.
cop.
I'm not sure.
I think it's Carson or Carter. It's one of those two. It's Car something.
I just know it's did you lose anybody on Alderaan?
I
That's just kind
mean-
of how I refer to him.
If Rangers of the New Republic is him and Cara Dune as like a buddy cop, I would love that. I
So
would love that. Just a buddy cop through the universe. And they surprisingly they must be saving it for like D23 if they do that, or maybe Star Wars Celebration, or they don't want to bunch in with all these other shows because I know so many keep it its own separate thing. But we didn't see the Dr. Mandible show announcement yet.
Mm.
No, we didn't. But you're probably right. If they're going to reveal
It deserves to be
anything
its
of that
big old thing.
magnitude,
Yeah.
it has to.
That might be revealed as like the halftime show of the Super Bowl.
Mm.
Do you imagine just all of a sudden the screen goes black and you just see the little parts like that, and then he's holding like a little lightsaber scalpel or something?
And this fall to
And
ABC. It wouldn't even go to Disney Plus. It would go to ABC.
yes.
That's what we're talking about this whole time. You're talking
Yeah.
It would go to ABC, Alex. Wouldn't even go to Disney Plus.
I hope not. God's I hope not. That's awful.
And you know who they're gonna cast to play him?
I can't imagine.
Derek.
Don't do that. Don't Sully Patrick like this. Don't sell Mr. Dempsey like this.
We're gonna cut off the Grays thing. Couple things.
I am going to point out one Easter egg that I thought was pretty neat. The stormtroopers in the brownish armor were actually the shore troopers from Rogue One.
Oh.
Nice.
They were wearing the same armor. Clearly, they're shore troopers, but they're clearly not on shore anywhere.
Very true.
True.
Not a lie.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Predictions for the season finale. What do you guys think's gonna happen?
An episode longer than 40 minutes, hopefully.
I mean, last season was easy to predict the season finale because episode 7 went into episode 8. This one, I'm not calling it a filler because it was a good episode, but it was like a side quest where they just like went off.
Yeah.
I do like the ship though, and I did like one last thing, that like sonic bomb thing that they dropped.
Oh yeah, that was so badass.
So maybe
That
we'll
was a-
see more of those because that was fucking awesome.
That was a callback to Jango Fett using it.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. I mean, obviously we're gonna have to see Grogu again because how can we not finish the season without him? So, I mean, you think more people are gonna die? Maybe we'll lose a character.
I think the season's gonna end with Grogu being stabbed through the chest with a dark saber, and we're gonna have to wait a whole year to find out if he's alive or not.
No. I mean, I think maybe it'll end on a cliffhanger, but not Grogu getting stabbed in the fucking heart.
I don't like cliffhangers.
No.
A part of me thinks that the season's gonna end on a cliffhanger because season 1 kind of wrapped everything up basically, and it ended on like a high note, and then you get the teaser of him at the end with the dark saber. But it was like they beat the bad guys for the moment.
Yeah.
And he was like, you gotta go. He was told, go find the Jedi. This one, I feel like it's gonna end on a cliffhanger, and it's gonna be like something bad's gonna happen at the end of the episode, and we're gonna have to wait over a year because fucking season 3 doesn't start till Christmas.
I'm thinking more along the lines of not a necessarily cliffhanger at the ending, but this might be the episode where we get Thrawn to actually be revealed.
I was just gonna say that, like just a glimpse or something, like you guys were
I
saying,
would
like right at the
love
end.
that, because with the way like everything is now, it's impossible to have any surprises anymore. Because literally everyone else that was in this show leaked out months ago. If they're able to pull off the Thrawn reveal at the end and that never leaked out, that would be fucking awesome.
Well, what I also just thought of is he still sent out those Jedi like force waves, so maybe also we could get an Ezra moment, and then that would be a little teaser into like, since Ahsoka we know is coming, like, or maybe we get like some sort of like rebels, like something or other, like maybe there's a distress call, like maybe the ghost shows up, like I don't know.
I agree with you about the cliffhangers, but I think at bare minimum, well, what I really want is I at least want to know who Moff Gideon is working for. Like, I know Moff Gideon isn't in charge of all these operations. Like, I deep down really think it's Thrawn, but I'm kind of hoping they throw out a curveball and an extremely scary looking woman walks out.
Ray Sloan, my girl. See,
I'm really hoping. I can't help it.
that's what I'm thinking, because
I'll tell you about
I
it.
think people assume it's Thrawn because we got the Thrawn name drop, but he could be working for someone else for the Empire.
Yeah,
and I want it to be Ray Sloan because I do feel like Thrawn should be like the Thanos of this, where it's like his name keeps popping up, but you don't see him, or you might see like little tidbits of him, like at the end, like a nice little teaser of him talking, but they don't interact with him until they all come together after like Ahsoka and Rangers and all that. They all come together to take him down.
Yeah.
But as for like the Mandalorian show, I would like it if he was working directly under Ray Sloan.
Yeah, see, I feel the exact same way as you. 1,000%. Like, I want there to be like a few more like serious bad guys and like some really cool reveals, but I agree with you 1,000% because I'm kind of hoping that this is going to lead to like the new trilogy of what you were saying, and I'm really hoping it's essentially Heir to the Empire.
That would be badass. Do you think they'll ever bring in Mara Jade?
I would say maybe like 25% chance of that ever happening.
Do you think if they bring her in that she ends up getting with Luke, or they just keep them separate?
They usually try to do things differently than how they were in Legends, so it's probably going to be different.
I feel like Luke died a virgin. I feel like he kept his like Jedi oath.
It would have been a great time to have her introduced, or at least part of episode 9, I think. Because, Palpatine was back. She was kind of like his right hand or something.
Yep.
I feel like
But what do I know? I'm just a fan.
That's your problem. You're a fan.
Maybe he lied about the reason why he exiled himself. Maybe it wasn't only the whole Ben thing. Maybe it was also
I'm hoping he knocked
repeat of an Obi-Wan thing.
Yeah, like with his kid, Corky.
If Ki-Adi-Mundi could have kids, I don't see why no other Jedi could.
Will we see Bo-Katan next week will
100.
she show up looking for her fucking Darksaber? Because he has a crew right now. I don't know if his crew's good enough to win this fight.
No, not even if they're not good enough. You still want backup, and if you can get some fucking Mandalorian backup, fire take it.
Do they have a way to like contact each other? Did they like leave something when he left?
See, I don't know, but I don't think so. But I think Bo-Katan's gonna show up like inadvertently, like same place, same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's looking for Moff Gideon because she wants the Darksaber. So they just fucking Deus Ex Machina. They just all fucking end up at the same point together. It's like, oh,
This would also be a good time for Boba Fett to use his contacts and call in some backup, like maybe Dengar.
Or Bosk. Is Bosk still alive?
Yeah, probably. Well, if Boba Fett's still alive, Bosk is still alive. But Bosk hates Boba Fett, so
that's fine.
I don't know if that's true.
They could have become friends after the Sarlacc pit. Maybe after the Sarlacc pit, he reached out to all his contacts and like apologized and everything.
I think they had mutual respect, but he just didn't like him as a person.
Cad Bane still alive?
Who?
Cad Bane.
We don't
see him die.
We don't. It's complicated because there was gonna be an arc in Clone Wars where he was training Boba Fett, and then Cad Bane was gonna kill a bunch of civilians, and Boba Fett stands up for them, and they have a duel, and they shoot each other, in the head. But Boba Fett's wearing a fucking like Beskar helmet, so he just has, and that's how he gets that little dent in his head.
Okay.
Cad Bane's wearing a cowboy hat. But that never got fully animated, so we don't know if that's like canon or not. But I believe like Dave Filoni treats all that stuff like it's canon anyways, even if it didn't get animated. But so it's like up in the air if he's alive, if that confrontation happens. It would be cool if they show us that in like the Bad Batch or something, but Bad Batch happens after Order 66, so probably not.
Which that will be interesting.
So yeah, Cad Bane, we have no idea right now.
Yep.
Well, I like to believe he's alive then.
Some guy on I'm getting spam messages on fucking Discord.
Maybe bring in Jar Jar Binks.
If there is a God, please.
What if he's the one that senses Grogu?
Well, I mean, he is force sensitive himself.
We
do not get my fucking hopes up like that. You have no idea.
He's alive at this time because he's doing street performances.
Oh, sorry.
Dark Sith. He is the true threat to the galaxy. Our viewers out there, I hope they understand that and know that.
Yeah, and that's why he's going to raise Grogu to be his apprentice.
Darth Jar Jar here, folks.
no reason. I hope Din takes Grogu into like the world between worlds and trains him like it's the hyperbolic time chamber and fucking Dragon Ball
That's
Z.
not gonna happen.
I don't think
They
he's
fucking-
out there.
That's not happening.
That's what he's got the
fucking
spear
trains him.
for. His spear can resist the
And
lightsaber.
they come out and he has like that long hair like Trunks did. That was great.
Unless he ends up with the saber and the spear.
I'm gonna make another prediction. I think Grogu, because of how fast he's been developing and evolving, I think he might not like fully begin to speak, but it will at least say like a word or so.
Da-da.
I think he's gonna say something.
If
Yeah,
you
I
can
think
say like one phrase and it's a backwards fucking Yoda phrase, I will die.
I'll be pissed. If he hasn't been exposed to that, he has no reason to speak in adverse ways and
Well, how do you know?
reversing.
Normal?
This is what's gonna happen. Din and fucking Gideon are gonna be having their little their little sword duel. And Din's gonna be backed up, look like he's losing. And then Grogu's gonna start force choking Gideon and just be like, only the strongest shall rule Mandalore.
I'm gonna throw my pen at this screen. Yeah, he's going from fucking baby.
Which piece of
I hope
Mandalore?
Sam Witwer voices Grogu.
I will say I don't put it. When you were saying that, Colin, I just kind of had a thought of Grogu snapping Gideon's neck.
He's going towards the dark side, this little child.
Well, look at how he was throwing around the other two when he opens the door.
That was great.
And the only reason he didn't do it to Moff Gideon is because he was too tired from screwing with the other ones.
Yep. That's because all the experiments they did on him tire him out now.
Oh, are you sleepy?
Dickhead.
That's great.
God, Giancarlo Esposito's such a badass.
Really is. And he's hilarious at the same time. We know you hate him. We get it.
How can you hate Gus Fring?
She hated him then too.
You know what it is, guys, and for the viewers out there,
You're
it's
not a
not
fan of
that.
fried chicken.
No, I'm a fan of fried chicken, and I'm a fan of his half-fried fucking face-off, okay? I thought he was a good character in Breaking Bad, and I really liked him in that. It's his pussy-ass character, and Once Upon a Time, that kills him for me.
Okay, well, you and the 7 other people that watched that show, I assume are all upset about it.
He's so bad, and he's just whipped by the evil queen, and it's like no one wants to hear what you have to
Who
say.
do you play in Once Upon a Time? Aren't they all like real?
He plays like the man in the mirror, like a reporter, like
like Michael Jackson?
no, like the evil queen in the man in the mirror, her mirror guy, like she
When
traps
they're
him
like,
in there.
who's the like most like baddest bitch of them all?
Yes, him.
Ooh.
He's just it's like a whiny
I feel
bitchy
like-
man.
He's a hype man.
can't-
That's all.
You can't blame him for that. Isn't there like
Oh,
a
I do.
spell on him that makes him do that?
No, it's his personality.
Oh.
It's his personality in the show. But I digress.
He tries to go more funny than top 10.
Poor
I'd
guy.
rather see him be tough.
I want to see how he fights.
Mm-hmm. Interested.
I'm very curious to see if he like is like Thrawn, where he's gonna be fucking deducing these guys and fighting them, or if he's just like some fucking pencil pusher that just happened to steal the dark saber when everything else fell apart and was like, well, no one else is leading right now, and I have the dark saber. Everyone else is dead, so promote me, bitches.
Well, what's with his armor? Because it's like
His fucking Vader armor.
kind of like Vader armor. Like, are you really like mechanical under there at all, or are you just like a wannabe Vader?
And I want to see the fucking Dark Troopers, speaking of his armor, if they're gonna like show up and fight, because they're definitely gonna need all the Mandalorian help they can get. If the Dark
Yeah.
Troopers gonna be coming at them.
Yeah.
Especially
And
because
that's what I'm saying. And then
I'm
like
still
the Force
staying with my
vibes.
prediction that those Dark Troopers are made out of Beskar.
Who has that much Beskar, Colin?
They did. They were the ones that paid him. They paid Din that huge stack of Beskar for the baby. So they took over Mandalore, so they mined it all. So they have all the Beskar from Mandalore. So they have basically an unlimited supply of it.
Or do you think they're just Force sensitive? Like, no, because they're robots. Sorry.
No, I
sorry,
think they're robots. Yeah.
They're droids.
But I think it's made out of Beskar because they fucking were preparing, because the shit deflects blaster bolts and all this stuff. Not even worrying about the Jedi, it just affects blaster bolts. It's fucking super impervious, and they raided Mandalore. I was like, you might as well use that shit. They gave Din an ice cream container filled of this shit. So they definitely are not hurting for this stuff.
Yeah, true.
Fucking just make some robots, paint that shit black.
Mm-hmm. True.
Was that Wilbur Hood's ice cream container?
Probably. No, that's probably the one Cobb Vanth has. Cobb Lee Vanth. I still want to see why Boba never went and got the armor from Cobb Vanth.
I don't know if they'll ever address that, but I'd like to still think it's because he was putting it, he was using it to protect people.
Yeah. That makes the most sense. Like, Cobb Vanth was protecting the city, so I was like, well, fuck it, just putting the armor to good use. But then when he saw another Mandalorian had it, and he probably knew, like, he's going to return it to the Mandalorians. But I'm a Mandalorian and it's mine, so he should be returning it to me. Because he went there completely calm, not to go back to last week. He went there completely calm just to talk about his armor, and fucking Dylan's ready to shoot the guy for no reason. It's like, listen.
Yeah.
He wasn't the aggressor.
Take it down a bit, have a conversation.
Well, that's the extremist coming out of him. He can't handle it.
Glad he took his helmet off.
God, poor guy. Now he's gonna have issues.
I don't know. I think.
Well, luckily Mayfeld died, so no one has ever seen him without his helmet on.
True. Dead man can't speak.
All right. Any other predictions for next week before we end this?
Yeah, just one last thing. I think Moff Gideon's going to be an absolute savage with the Darksaber, and he's going to borderline, probably almost kill Din, and I think that's when Bo's going to show up. It's my prediction.
What's going to happen to poor little Grogu? Are they going to save him at the end of this episode?
Yep. He's gonna get saved. He'll be back with his papa. I don't know.
Are we going to see, even if we don't see maybe hear like a voice, is there going to be any hint of a Jedi trying to contact Grogu at the end of this episode?
I feel like there's gonna be something.
Like, even like last season finale where the tease was the fucking Darksaber, is there going to be tease of like a voice reaching out through the Force to Grogu? Like, I sense your presence, young one.
You sounded like Darth Maul there.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryan.
You know, now that more people say it, and now that I was watching that video the other day, like, is it feasible that Cal Kestis would show up? Or the other person was, the other option was maybe like Quinlan Voss or
See, I just don't see the Quinlan Voss showing up. I don't know.
who was like the main you know.
So we don't even know if any of those guys are alive in this timeline. We know they survived Order 66.
Yeah,
we don't know if they're alive now because we don't know what's happened. We don't have no idea what's happened to Quinlan Voss. Basically, Dark Disciple now. We don't know what's happened to Quinlan Voss between Dark Disciple and now. Outside of that, they believe he survived Order 66. So there's no evidence he died. Cal Kestis, we know he survived Order 66. His video game takes place around the same time as Solo, I want to say. So Maul's still alive during that, and that's pre-Rebels. So a lot of time, well, Maul's dead by now. So a lot of time has taken place between Jedi Fallen Order and now. So we don't know what's happened to Cal between then.
Okay.
We don't know, and I would like it to be Cal because it just makes sense because they have the actor and everything from the video game, but it also doesn't make sense with the fact that they're going to want to make sequels to this game, and I doubt they're going to want to shoehorn a future for him in Mandalorian where they're now on a forced trajectory where they have to end up at where he is in the Mandalorian. You're now taking this, you gave the studio, like, you gave them free reign to make their own video game about a Jedi, but now by putting him in the Mandalorian, you were saying no matter what, he has to end up at this point in time doing this thing. So you basically rip the ending out of him, which is why I don't think it's going to be Cal.
It could honestly be no one, and it could just be like
no one can reach out to him.
Or like, I don't know.
I think if anything may happen, I think if it's going to be somebody reaching out, as odd as this may sound, I think they'll end up reaching out to Din. He's gonna, if anything, we may hear Din may hear like a whisper or something and be like, what the?
Honestly, the only one that makes the most sense, they've already shown Ahsoka. The only
Yeah.
one that makes sense for this point, no, it's not even Ezra, because we don't know what's going on with Ezra, because Ezra's like lost. So he might not even be able to sense him for where he is, because Ahsoka can't sense Ezra, so Ezra probably can't sense them.
Could be dead.
And we don't know if he's still alive, and if he is, no one can sense him, because if they could, they would have been able to find it within the last 10 years. So I doubt Ezra can sense him. So the only one that would make sense are like Luke and Leia, but it's like I don't want it to be Luke and Leia, because I don't want them to get recasted, and I don't want the horrible CGI. I wouldn't mind hearing Mark Hamill's voice, and then they'll be like, hey, come find me, and then he just like chooses to stay, and it's like, fuck off, I'm not going with the Jedi, and just like totally just only ever talks to him through the Force. But I do not want to see. Everyone keeps saying, oh, Sebastian Stan should play a young Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker is 28 at this point in time. Sebastian Stan is 38. No.
Is he really?
Yes. I'm not having a fucking 38-year-old play fucking. This isn't like one of
They
these
could
like
find somebody
high
else.
school shows on like the CW that I love, where you have like these 30-year-olds playing like fucking 15-year-olds, and they're all having like wild sex. Like, this is inappropriate because they're playing 15-year-olds, but it's technically not because the actors are like older than I am, but still weird.
Well, the only thing too is like I just generally don't want it to be Luke.
I don't want
we've moved on from the Skywalkers. Like I kind of want to keep it that way.
What I would like Luke's story to continue in is the comic book, because right now, so the first Star Wars comic they had in 2015, that when Marvel first got like the comic rights,
I've gone through some of it.
That takes place between episodes 4 and 5, and it starts right at the end of episode 4. It goes right to the start of 5. The current ongoing one that started in 2020, which is up to I think issue 9, that takes place between 5 and 6. It starts right at the end of 5. It's gonna go right up to the end of 6. When that comic ends, I wouldn't mind the next Star Wars comic being fucking 6 to 7, and even having an animated series, maybe with Luke Skywalker. Because I do want to know what happens between 6 and 7, because it's 30 years there. He's in his prime, and we have not seen any of that in canon. We got a lot of it in Legends with like the Thrawn trilogy, but it's like, but I would like it animated, because at least then you could have Mark Hamill could voice him. I don't want to see him get recasted and show up in The Mandalorian, especially the soon, because if they ever did an animated show, I would like it to be further down the road, which it would be, because they just fucking announced everything coming out within like till like 2023 and beyond. So it's like I would like it to be further down the road, but you just told us we're done with the Skywalker saga, so I highly doubt they would bring in Luke Skywalker or like Leia in The Mandalorian and be like, surprise, we're not done with the Skywalkers. But outside of them, unless it's a new character, I cannot think of who like the Jedi would be. Ezra makes the most sense because it's Ahsoka, but Ezra also doesn't make any sense because it's been 10 years. No one's been able to find him. No one's probably been able to sense him. So why the fuck is he now reaching out now? Because he's supposed to be like lost in space.
That could just be like maybe like a.
Yes. Hold on. Trying to record here. People interrupted me.
It could be a
God, you got swatted.
I thought that was my ghost.
That was it.
Ryan,
Speaking
you
of
actually
ghosts,
can't.
it could be a Force ghost.
I'm not editing this out, Ryan, so you better not let anyone hear that, because they will take the video down for you saying that.
No, they won't.
They've banned people on Twitch for saying that. I don't know how YouTube does it, but Twitch has banned people for just saying like the word on stream.
Twitch is you know what? I'll save that thought.
Maybe next season, and I'm kind of thinking maybe we don't get any Jedi or Force user like showing up in the finale, but maybe like next season, maybe it'll be some sort of like Jedi Temple-y type episode, like, you know, maybe it's like a Force ghost kind of scenario where it's like bring the baby here, like just because Din's not a Force user doesn't mean that they can't appear to him, right? If he's open to it.
Speaking of Jedi Temple, it could be Jedi Master Kelleran Beck from the Jedi Temple Challenge, who's played by Ahmed Best.
That'll work.
Live action Jar Jar Binks himself.
It's gonna be Emperor Palpatine. Everything
What
always
if
comes back to him.
that reaches out to him?
Helps. I mean, if you think about it, if they do go down that way, like, and it is like a dark side user, like they're supposed to be too. So maybe next season it's like trying to fight this dark side user, trying to take the baby. I don't know.
I hope it's, and this is a huge fucking pipe dream that will never happen. Who I hope it's fucking Starkiller. They have Sam Witwer. I want a live action Sam Witwer.
He is good.
Alex,
Also in Once Upon a
closer
Time.
to the mic.
It could always be I don't know. I would love to see a live action Inquisitor.
Yeah, he
That'd be
could.
pretty dope.
What if it's one of the stupid Padawans that Luke's training right now?
It's gonna be Ben.
Ben's like what, 5 at this time or 4?
Better not be dead.
It's been 5 years since Return, so I think he'd be 4 because I think he was born a year after.
They'll have a connection because they're both children, even though Grogu's 50.
They are. All right, fam, is that good? We all good? We got anything else?
Fingers crossed for a good episode next week.
I'm gonna add fingers crossed for a longer episode.
Forgot to mention Rick Famuyiwa? How do you pronounce his name? Famuyiwa? The guy that directed the episode.
Oh no.
I forget, but this is outside.
It's Famuyiwa.
Thank you. I knew I fucked that up. This he was the one that directed the Prisoner episode last season that Bill Burr was in, and this is only the second episode of this season that Jon Favreau didn't write. The other one was the Ahsoka episode that Dave Filoni wrote.
Mhm.
What's his name? How do you pronounce his name again, Ryan?
I'm just gonna go off what I see here. It's Famuyiwa.
He directed and he wrote this episode. So he directed and wrote this one. Filoni directed and wrote the Ahsoka one. Every other episode so far has been written by Favreau.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to him for giving our guy Mayfeld some serious love.
And an overall good episode.
Oh yeah. Cannot wait for the finale. Like the page, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, follow on Twitter at twitter.com/cutthesith, Instagram, instagram.com/cutthesith. That does it for chapter 15 of The Mandalorian. Next week, season finale, season 2, episode 8, chapter 16. Let's see how this shit goes out. Hopefully it's longer than like 35 minutes.
That's all I ask for.
And to all of you who have lost people on Alderaan, I'm thinking of you.
Did you lose someone on Alderaan?